Hey, will you sit with me in my car while I eat cinnamon juju bears and tell you about the first time I ever got catfished on a dating app after a 13-year relationship ended? Because I'd love to share with you. Because, spoiler alert, TikTok ratted the catfish out. I love me a good TikTok. The year, 2021. I have been separated from my ex-husband. I know, not divorced. Again, 2021, you're going to find out a lot about me that I was just naive. And so I get on the apps about 7 or 8 months after I'd asked for the separation and started my healing journey. Bumble, I believe, was the app of choice. And I didn't know any better. I've never used an app. Last time I was in the dating market, MySpace was a thing. So the apps were a whole new world. And I started swiping and happened to see my soon-to-be ex-husband on there and threw my phone thinking he was going to see me. So after we got over that, we kept swiping until we matched with a delightful gentleman, 38 years old, a real estate developer here in my city, Nashville. And had a great profile. Looked so good. So good. Back in the day when you only swiped on people how they looked. It was a tasty treat. So we start chatting. And come to find out, he is from France originally. I know now. But he had a cute little accent. Even, you can tell he had an accent in the text, like just a little bit of grammatical error. It was so cute. And he started telling me about his family and how he actually came from a very small village in France. But his parents made a lot of money. Actually, I think it was his grandfather who started it because his grandfather was the leather supplier for Louis Vuitton. Well, I had never thought about the leather supplier for Louis Vuitton. Bet there's some good money in that, right? I remember him asking me about my favorite kind of wine. And, I think mine was that champagne that was like $12 at the supermarket. And he told me about his favorite bottle of wine and how it's been his favorite for decades. And he always does it. He always does it for special occasions. And, if we went on a first date, like that's what he would bring as like a gift for me. Like, this is what it's like to be pursued. I have been missing out. And when I Googled that bottle of champagne, it was a $650 bottle of champagne. Excuse me. Sign me up. And this was right before Christmas that year, so it was over the holidays, and he happened to be in Chicago for the holidays. And so at one point, I had asked him if he had been married before, and he said, well, I was supposed to get married. I was engaged for a year to my lovely fiance, but unfortunately, the week before the wedding, she died in a horrible, tragic car accident, and I've spent the last few years healing, and I finally feel ready to move on and open my heart up to somebody new. And I'm really glad we connected. This isn't a Hallmark movie in the making. I'm going to heal this man's heart. I'm going to show him that love is good and pure and true, and we can honor her memory together. Oh. I have to be funny about it because it's really embarrassing that I fell for all this shit, but I totally did. And you probably have too, so no judgment. All right, so I think it was probably, we had been chatting on the app for 3 or 4 days, and he's like, let's get off the app. Let's go onto WhatsApp. Oh, what's WhatsApp? I've never heard of that. Oh, well, I don't have an iPhone, so that's a way that we can still communicate. Cool, let's do WhatsApp. Thank you. I would love to progress our connection on WhatsApp. Please. No. So once we got into WhatsApp, things really started to increase from there. Our connection was just so magical. I mean, he started saying, wow, I could really see myself with somebody like you. You seem like wifey material. And I felt so seen, so heard, so finally, like somebody gets me, right? I mean, 5 days, he just knew. He just knew I was the one after 5 days. I was chosen. And so the holidays happen, and I'm really wanting to meet this man, but he's in Chicago for Christmas. And so he sends me a photo because he's thinking about me on Christmas, and he's at a restaurant he's out on the patio in short sleeves and a t-shirt with palm trees behind him. And I'm like, Chicago over Christmas is not really short sleeve weather, but maybe they're having a heat wave. I don't know. Let me go check. 32 and snowing in Chicago at the time that he sent me that photo. I don't think he's in Chicago. So the next day I end up going wine tasting with one of my friends who is a police officer. And I'm telling her about this amazing, wonderful man. Like, I'm so excited. And he loves this kind of champagne and blah, 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 blah. And she goes, what? This doesn't sound legit. I'm like, oh, no, it is. It is. He sent me photos. I've sent him videos and photos. Like, you know, he's legit. What do you mean not legit? And she's like, has he ever been married? And I said, you would not believe this. And she's like, oh, hold on. Can I guess what you're about to say? Yeah. Let me guess. He had a fiance that died in a horrific car accident. And I was like, how did you know? And she's like, that is like the standard catfish line. You're getting catfish. This is not somebody, this is not a real person. And I, what do you, no, of course it is. What do you mean? Shit. So I thought, you know, we're going to test this out. We're going to find out for ourselves. We're not just going to believe her because she doesn't understand our connection. She doesn't know what we've talked about and the depth of our communication. I am wifey material for that man. So back off. So I asked for us to do a video chat. Yeah. And he says, sure. Yeah. What time? So I'm like, see? So we're about to jump on a video chat and it's like doing the ringing. And it turns on and my heart is racing like, oh my God, I actually get to see him. Like, oh, I'm so excited. And it's a video of him, what looks like he's like doing the selfie thing on his couch with the dog running up and like licking him. And he had sent me pictures of the dog. So the dog matched and the man matched, but it was like grainy and like kept flashing in and out. And then it cut out completely. So it was like maybe a second and a half of video before it cut out. And then he's messaging me, oh, my internet went out. Wait, you're still messaging me. Like the thing that you just tried to video call me on, like you're still using the internet. And he's like, I don't think it's going to come up tonight. Maybe we could try again tomorrow. Sure. We'll try again tomorrow. And this is where TikTok comes in to save the day. So I tried doing the reverse image search and it wasn't really coming up with anything. Actually, no, that's not true. I did do the reverse image search and I found his photo with French writing on it in some sort of back-end website thing. I don't know what it was because I don't do reverse image searches all that much, but there was photos that were similar to the ones that I had with French writing by it. So I thought, oh, that connects. Like he's from France. Maybe this is like some sort of blog or forum on French writing. But what I think that did, based on TikTok's beautiful algorithm, is it shared with TikTok what I was searching up, because who shows up on my FYP? Who just happens to be as my next little scroll the next day was the actual person who was not a 38-year-old straight real estate developer from Nashville, but was a 52-year-old gay man living in Los Angeles who, by the way, chef's kiss, he was delicious, even more so on the video, but not the person I had actually been talking to. So from my heart to yours, TikTok, thank you for confirming that. And I feel like I'd be best friends with the actual person, but the catfish, not so much. Now, why am I sharing all of this? Good question. Because the version of me that sucked all of that up could have very easily said, dating is dangerous and dating apps don't work. No, it was because I was coming from such a depleted, low self-worth state that I was easily manipulated and easily fed all of this shit that I believed to be true from a stranger, not even the person they were preparing to be, but I used dating apps as a means of validation. I didn't know I was doing it at the time, but what I found out, I had used dating apps for about 2 years after that I kept going on crappy dates and having crappy connections, and nothing ever really led to a relationship. I did have one relationship in there, and he was a nice guy, but it was not coming from a place of me looking for what worked with me because I knew me so well. It was coming from a place of, please world, tell me how I'm valuable, tell me what my worth is, and I don't want that for you. So if you want to learn more tips on how to avoid catfishes and how to have less matches but more connection, join me and Kale Ursick of the Dating Collective. We are putting on a Swipe Right Not Wrong Masterclass on July 18th, and I'd love to have you there. Comment or DM the word swipe, and I'll send you the link, and we can talk more about dating horror stories and how to avoid them moving forward, so you date from a place of self-worth, not self-abandonment. See you there.